In the near future, wildfires and droughts start spreading all over the globe. Soon scientists announce an incoming catastrophe called the solar disaster, which predicts that at the price the solar is presently increasing, in 100 years it's going to engulf Earth, and in 300 the solar system might not exist anymore. The United Earth Authorities, or UEG, decide to proceed with the Moving Mountain project, which consists of building big engines that will push the Earth out of the solar system. Due to this expensive operation, this is consuming resources at a rapid pace. Riots and protests happen all around the world by people who do not care about tragedies that are not occurring yet. The violent protests get worse when the UEG bans the Digital Life Project, or DLP, a radical institution that believes humanity's destiny is in computer systems. They are growing a software that would permit a person to upload their minds in a disk, but they lack the assets to go further, so they are continuously hacking and throwing terrorist attacks at the UEG. After but some failed strive from the DLP, the UEG notices the people are losing faith in their mission and take into account stopping it. However, Chinese Ambassador Zhou convinces everybody to hold on with the primary part of the venture, to be able to be accomplished soon, and will assist with morale. The first plan is trying out the engine on the moon, due to the fact they may be planning to push it as nicely in order that Earth can break away from its gravity. Many human beings are being educated as astronauts for this mission, and one among them is Lu, a pilot that arrives at the base to find it surrounded by protesters. The guards try to hold the angry people at bay, but one of the protesters manages to sneak inside. Fortunately, trainee Han quickly knocks down the fellow, which impresses Lu so much that he can already picture having a future together with her. Even as the guards use pressure to take away the protesters, the new trainees are given an excursion of the location and dispatched to the space elevator for their first check. This elevator is the very best structure in human records, and it gives the cadets a taste of what's like to be in space. It goes up so fast that a lot of them pass out and do not get to look the station that is being constructed up there for the venture. From then on, all the cadets are kept busy training in all matters of subjects like hand-to-hand fight, use of firearms, and regular journeys on the elevator till they do not pass out anymore. They're additionally placed through medical tests and exercising to make certain they're on peak physical condition. Even as training together, Lu and Han get to know each other, and they fall in love. Lu bribes the guards with cigarettes so that they allow him to get a bouquet inside the base, and he gifts it to Han the next time they pass at the elevator. That day, a new batch of reserve astronauts arrive and additionally be a part of the elevator experience. Unexpectedly, all of the drones outside start flying out of the hangar, and the engineers find out the system has been hacked. The elevator starts going up earlier than scheduled, and the new astronauts change clothes, revealing their sporting uniforms with the cadets' names, which is noticed by Lu and Han. Outside, the drones open fire, and everybody within the base need to protect the base through shooting their very own tech. The pilots try and use the planes to shoot, however the system might not aim on the drones because they're detected as allies. The drones take advantage of this and bring down one of the elevators with missiles. Inside the elevator, the newcomers start locking the doorways and the chairs before stealing IDs from the cadets, beating up everybody that dares withstand. Within the other room, Lu leaves his chair and uses his glasses to burn lock display screen, causing the door to open. After checking on a bleeding buddy, Lu goes after the terrorists, combating them till one of them falls off the brink and dies. Lu is going after the other men with a fire extinguisher, however, it is too late. Thanks to the stolen identification, the terrorist gives the elevator get entry to the station on the same time that the drones attach a missile on them. In the meantime, the scientists within the base carry over the 550C, a smart quantum computer that finally overrides the hacking. The drones begin crashing to the ground and causing explosions all over the place whilst the elevators are dragged back down, shaking everybody around due to zero-G. Lu is still fighting the terrorist. So Han grabs a mechanical arm to break a window and help Lu knock out the men. Right then she thankfully asks for her flowers once more. Unfortunately, the men manage to press the detonator before passing out, and now the station is crashing down on the base, inflicting irreparable damage to the building and many of the cadets, even though Lu jumps on top of Han to shield her from it. The base is evacuated, and the newscasts announce around 3,000 lives have been lost that day. In the course of the following weeks, the riots and terrorist attacks get worse due to all of the loss of life and resource loss the crash of the station brought on, and people start demanding the government to bring the DLP again. Zhou makes his assistant examine the speech he's organized asking the UEG to have confidence in the project while he has a talk with the American ambassador to convince him to give them a chance. A few weeks later, cryo-sleeping pods are dispatched to the moon with the team that will maintain on operating on the lunar engines. As soon as he wakes up, computer engineer Heng Yu is going to check on his things to make sure they're fine. This consists of the AI 550A and a recording of his daughter Yaya that interacts with him in a completely constrained manner because of 550A's limits. It seems Heng Yu used to work for the DLP and now he's regular to work on the lunar assignment to benefit access to 550C, in order to control the whole base, due to the fact he thinks he can use it to make the Yaya's clip, which only lasts a few seconds, turn into a complete AI of his dead daughter's mind. Whilst running with the rest of the team, Heng Yu learns that computer researcher Zhao is in charge of 550C and wishes him to work with him at the operation of the system. Heng Yu and Zhao do the first checking out of 550C by making it spark off each area of the base. Even as they anticipate the computer to do its thing, Zhao gives Heng Yu the virtual copy of his thoughts that the company confiscated after they banned DLP and explains it is as much as him if he wants to destroy it or not. Sometime later, Heng Yu shows Yaya's clip to Zhao whilst he remembers the day of the tragedy. He was driving with his wife and daughter, however in a moment of distraction, Hengyu failed to see a truck coming and the car got in a crash. His wife died right away, however Yaya nonetheless had a couple of minutes left, so Hengyu took her to the DLP to back up her mind. The agency failed to need to help due to the fact the technology wasn't prepared yet. Hengyu asks Zhao to use 550C on Yaya, but Zhao is against the idea and reminds Hengyu that giving him 550A had already been enough. Sometime later, the system detects an incoming level Z9 solar storm. All of the people ought to rush again to the bottom, but they are concerned their vehicles might not be fast enough. The drivers push the engines to the extreme and manipulate to go into the base right earlier than the solar storm hits, however alas 550C gets fried within the procedure. The AI is needed to launch the venture in 3 days, so Hengyu offers 550A to replace it in trade of being placed in a team that will increase the Destiny 550 models. Zhao accepts, and Hengyu moves Yaya's thoughts to a disk before handing the AI. 3 days later, the crew tests the engines and after a few seconds of tension, they're thrilled to see the moon is going in angular displacement, small but real. This proves that in 2 decades they will be able to be pushed away absolutely, and this success offers human beings all over Earth faith again at the mission. Some months later, they test the engines once more, this time on Earth. At the beginning all the screens go black, and people assume it's failed, but unexpectedly they experience the ground shaking, and a shiny beam can be seen coming from the astronaut base. Scientists on the UEG confirm that Earth made an angular displacement, and those all around the world celebrate that quickly they will be able to move Earth completely. A few years pass as the UEG continues to work on completing greater effective engines that will do the whole push, and the Moving Mountain project gets renamed as the Wandering Earth. Most of the building is being achieved by way of the fixed 550C, who is also developing at a tremendous pace. Every year there's a new check that continues proving their theories right, and civilians come to be more accepting of the project, to the point in which the DLP disappears completely. But there is also talk about how not everybody may be allowed into the underground cities that are being built right now, and the requirements to get a pass are quite discriminatory. As Earth's rotation slows down an increasing number of each year, society changes to a 60-hour system and worldwide internet is shut down. All forms of weather disasters soon hit the planet, like floods and sun radiation that reason an increase in most cancer cases. Lu and Han get married, and eventually they've a child boy to be able to come to be the protagonist of the first film. They're quite concerned because it'll be hard to get a pass for the underground towns for their son too, and to make matters worse, Han also gets cancer from the solar radiation. Hengyu in no way stops working Yaya's whilst helping with the improvement of the brand new 550, which is called 550W. 14 years skip since the fall of the station, and Lu, now with the rank of major, is going to an interview to be one of the navigators so that it will be sent to the new one. The interviewer is 550W, who admits Lu's abilities are remarkable, however it also knows about his own family issues and thinks it is more reasonable for Lu to live on the planet and take care of them. Lu admits he is sorry to leave his family behind, however getting selected for the base is the best manner to get his son sent to the underground city via preferential policy. On the opposite aspect of the mirror, the scientists in charge of the project also are hearing all of the interviews, and Hengyu can't help thinking about his very own daughter even as listening to Lu speak so passionately about his son. Then 550W factors out that Han's life will end soon, causing Lu to have a breakdown and make him fail the stress test. Later on, Lu is going to the hospital to spend time with Han, because her situation has worsened to the point she cannot be at home anymore. Han admits she'd want to see her hometown one last time, which can be tough due to the present-day weather issues. Later in the evening, inspired by Lu's passion, Hengyu sneaks into the base and connects Yaya's mind to 550W. This time Yaya has limitless reactions to him and he or she can tell she's somewhere else, which makes Hengyu cry. At that second, a group of guards arrive with Zhao, who tries to make Hengyu see reason and be given Yaya's dead. Hengyu refuses and completely uploads Yaya into 550W, which right away triggers problems within the moon's machine and the engines start failing. The guards tase Hengyu and take him away at the same time as Zhao places Yaya back on a disc and shuts down this extension of 550W. Meanwhile, Lu pulls some strings through old buddies and borrows a jet to take his family to Han's hometown. After doing some pirouettes for fun, they land on Shanghai, which is now a frozen wasteland. At the same time as they watch the stars, Han asks Lu that once the time comes, she wants to die with dignity and not with a bunch of wires and pipes connected to her. On the UEG, they talk the system trouble Hengyu brought on and note it is very similar to the hacking they did to the drones and the elevator years in the past. They're trying to override the device with 550W, however somehow, they keep getting blocked. Unexpectedly the moon's engines go the limits of their energy and explode, inflicting the moon to lose a great bite of its land. This explosion also begins pushing the moon closer to Earth. Joe is close to the ocean while it happens and sends an emergency alert to all world leaders as he watches a tsunami grow in size and hit the land. Due to this emergency state, Lu receives a message calling him back to duty, and the leaders already start opening the underground cities to allow humans in because the tides will only get worse any further. Before Lu leaves for his mission, Han dies peacefully in her sleep, and their son is taken to the underground metropolis via Han's father. In the meantime, Joe talks at the UEG requesting their help for his emergency plan. He wants to use all of Earth's nuclear weapons on the moon to cause its implosion and avoid the collision. No authorities has ever revealed how many nuclear weapons they have in their arsenal because it's personal, but for the first time in history it does not matter, and everybody is of the same opinion to hand in what they have to be able to help. In the meantime, Zhao visits Heng Yu in prison to inform him they'll be activating Earth's engines sooner than expected, so that they need to reactivate the global net to allow coordinated detonation control point. One of the servers is now underwater, and Zhao wants Heng Yu to take care of it to convince him. He suggests him he still has the disk with Yaya's and Heng Yu's minds. Because lunar particles have formed an asteroid belt around the moon, the exceptional pilots are selected to take shipping the nukes, including Lu. On this planet, 3 groups are sent to take care of the missing net servers, which are in Beijing, Tokyo, and Dallas. Zhao explains to everybody how to apply the key in order to decode the password, which incorporates 30,000 random numbers, then 550W will do the rest. In the meantime, the shuttles with the chosen pilots go away for the moon. The asteroids move fast and come out of nowhere, in order that they do end up hitting a few of the shuttles and cause them to crash. This causes the team to lose 200 warheads, only leaving 180 for the detonation. The shuttles are guided by using 550W through the surface of the moon safely, at least till another asteroid hits one more shuttle and causes it to crash others, which include Lu's, forcing them to land instead violently. In the end, they lose 384 warheads. The survivors immediately search for tape to repair their helmets to hold up oxygen and bandage any wounds, then they decide they will deliver the final warheads on foot. Lu doesn't want young people to die so quickly, so he leaves the shuttle and closes the door, accepting to sacrifice himself for their sake before sending the shuttle with all the survivors back. In Earth, the 3 teams arrive at the locations of the servers and dive underwater, finding all sorts of marine life already making their lives there. With the help of the drones and unique tools, Heng Yu's crew in Beijing enters the building and reveals the door to the server, but when they try to force the door open, the tool cannot deal with the stress and malfunctions, heavily wounding one of the guys. Zhao attempts to take care of the wounds, but he would not have the necessary gear and the man dies. Even as most of the group takes away the frame, Heng Yu and Zhao decide to go ahead and finish the mission, making all the vital connections to convey the net back. Even as Lu takes a truck to move the final warheads, suddenly lunar particles start falling on the Earth, which gets in the way for a backup team to reach the Beijing server. The building begins shaking whilst the debris hits it, and a few hardware falls on Zhao's leg, getting him stuck. The room starts filling with water, and Heng Yu can't get the door open in spite of the assist of his drone, so Zhao decides to pass in the password key before the water takes over him and he dies. The lunar particles starts destroying all of the most important locations in the world, and the human beings that have been moving to the underground cities peacefully now being to push in panic. At the UEG, Zhou gets terrible news. They don't have sufficient time to coordinate all the warheads to cause them to explode on the same time due to the fact they're all different models. Zhou is ready to lose hope, however certainly one of his guys offer one alternate solution. They can send extra astronauts and detonate them manually, which means they would be accepting to be a sacrifice point. 300 people are needed for the operation, and some kids volunteer, but this movement is interrupted by an older pilot that points out it is their responsibility to do that and depart the young people to take care of the future. All astronauts which can be over 50 agree and right away get on the shuttles to fly to the moon. Lu is stunned to see them arrive, but his communicator is damaged, so he cannot say his old teacher and training partners goodbye earlier than he's put on a shuttle to go back to Earth. The UEG confirms the Tokyo and the Dallas servers are back online, but not Beijing. Heng Yu is having trouble because the water is filling his room as well, and he cannot connect the key to the right computer. Determined for a solution, he connects the mine disk to the computer at the same time the astronauts at the moon detonate all the nukes. The moon efficiently implodes, and the collision is avoided. However, more particles is coming, and Earth needs to go away soon. Heng Yu activates Yaya's clip and attempts to ask her to activate the net from the inside via displaying her the key. However, at that second the water finally covers him, and he dies as well. Lunar debris continues to fall all over the world, and the UEG sends an emergency message announcing the mission has failed. Therefore riots and panic begin taking over main cities. But Zhao thinks not all wish is misplaced and tells his crew to begin the countdown to fire the engines. Everyone thinks he's crazy, however in Beijing, Heng Yu's mind unexpectedly turns on in the computer as well. After reuniting with his daughter, the Heng Yu AI gets right down to business and works to activate the server at the same time and follows Zhao's orders and presses the button. All people at the base watches with awe as the Earth is pushed away out of the lunar debris way, and those round the arena celebrate whilst the tides finally calm down. Lu watches the Earth move from his spot within the shuttle and takes the chance to record a stunning video to send to his son. In the meantime, Heng Yu's and Yaya's mine backups come to be one with 550W. 7 years later, as Earth wanders away, it regains its 24-hour system. Zhou has retired, however, his assistant incorporates on his legacy on the UEG. Now the lunar crisis is over, they begin the second part of the plan, which will be to fly close to Jupiter in 10 years to get the second boost in order to push Earth out of the solar system for good. A space station has been put in place to maintain a watch on the engines, and Lu is in charge of it. The device is controlled by way of 550W. But the AI makes a decision it is not easy to mention and turns the word around to form Moss. Inside the AI, Heng Yu discovers it was the Moss who destroyed the lunar engines and brought on most terrorist attacks, like the elevator and drone takeover. After watching Yaya in a loop, Moss has reached the end that the best way to keep human civilization is to destroy mankind, confirming that is the same Moss from the first movie that triggered all of the trouble.